morning, guys. Welcome to today's video. So today we're gonna do like a homeschool day in my life. What a typical day of homeschool looks like. I've been sharing some of these other like homeschool videos from time to time, so I'll list some of the other ones down below in the description box if you want to see like other things that we've done. But this is my first video doing like this year pre-K4 of homeschool with Riley. So we started a little bit more than a month ago, I want to say, or maybe like about a month ago. So I wanted to give like a recap of how it's been going, show you what like we kind of go through Riley's curriculum, like things that we supplement with. So very casual, but if you like are curious as to what homeschool looks like, then this is kind of gonna be it. Good job, Jackson. Jackson, you ate all your breakfast? Oh, you want giggles now? You want candy because you ate your breakfast? Okay, let me get you that in just a second. So Riley and I, we typically do homeschool here on the kitchen table. We don't have a homeschool room. So this just goes to show you, you don't need anything super fancy in order to homeschool. So for homeschool, what I'll usually do is I'll put like all of our supplies out on the table. Supplies meaning like crayons, markers. I have like the big markers, the smaller markers, because sometimes Jackson will join us. Looks like today he's kind of curious. So I don't force him to do anything, but like if he's intrigued and just wants to like sit around the table or color or anything like that, then he can do that. I keep the curriculum and stuff in this basket over here. So yesterday we were doing science, so I had their science curriculum out, and then this is the curriculum that I use for Riley. So we'll kind of go through that a little bit. A couple things. So Riley is gonna be 5 in December. So she's one of like the older kids in a pre-K4 class. So right now we're using like a Horizons curriculum, a preschool curriculum. Last year we used the pre-K3 curriculum for like a more of a pre-K3 class. So this is like the second year of using a curriculum. Very like not super strict. Like there's a lot of stuff in the lesson plan or whatever that I skip through that I'm like, we're not gonna do that today. We keep it very chill, very laid back, just making sure that she's learning the things that she's supposed to be learning. So I just want to give out her age. So she's about to be 5, Jackson's about to be 3. So his birthday is also in December. Today though is a little bit of a different day because we actually just got back. It's 11:40 now. We got back home from the kids homeschool co-op. So we were lucky enough to find a co-op this year to join. It's once a week for, I don't know, maybe like maximum 2 hours, where the kids get to play for a little while, then they do like maybe 30 to 45 minutes of an actual lesson, and then they play a little longer. So in the lesson, like they do arts and crafts, like this was Riley's little craft for today, and they focus on like one letter, and they sing songs, the ABC song, all of that. Very simple, basic stuff, but it gives them an opportunity once a week to go and interact with other kids and to sit around a table and listen to the teacher. Like we all take turns being the teacher, all of the moms of the kids. So it's been really nice and I think helpful for the kids to kind of have a little bit more of that structure, and then just from like the social perspective, having them able to, you know, hang out with kids and run around and stuff. So that's been a blessing. I highly encourage, if you're doing homeschool, to maybe go online and search wherever it is you're living at, search online, see if they have any homeschool groups or co-ops. Sometimes churches have like homeschool groups. I think they're really helpful. Riley, what letter did you work on today with Miss Jessica?
It was F.
F? And what book did you read about the letter F?
We read about a fox.
I think they read Fletcher. Was it named Fletcher and the Falling Leaves?
Yeah.
Is that what it was called?
Yeah.
So what was the book about?
Because Fletcher was trying to put the leaves back onto his favorite tree, and then all of them blew away.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't read the book, so I don't know if that's correct. So they did a lot of school for the day, but whenever we get back from the co-op, I still like to go through today's lesson just so we don't fall behind. So with the Horizons preschool curriculum, it's very easy because there's lessons every day. So we are now on lesson, I always forget which lesson we are on. So this is lesson, are we on 39? This is like her workbook. So every day there's like a couple pages that she goes doing. I think we're on lesson 39. Okay, so yeah, we are on lesson 39 today. What I do is I always look at the teacher's guide and it tells me exactly what I have to do for like each section. So like we start off with a Bible reference. So we're gonna read Genesis 1:9-13. So again, this video is gonna be very casual, but I want you guys to get like a real look at what a day would look like for us. So I have my Bible that I keep over here, at least somewhere downstairs, so that I can open it up. And I've been trying to start teaching Riley like what is exactly the Bible, like showing her a real Bible so that she knows that this is God's word, and kind of going through those concepts with her. But what I like about the Horizons curriculum is that every day there is some kind of Bible reference, there is some kind of Bible lesson to learn. And all of the lessons, it's like if you're learning about science, if you're learning about the leaves, there's some kind of discussion about like how God made the leaves, or why God, you know, there's God incorporated into all of the lessons. And that for me was what I was looking for in terms of a Christian-based homeschool curriculum. We ourselves are Catholic, but I still feel like we're getting a lot of the basic foundation with this curriculum, so I haven't had any issue with it. Of course, like if it comes to like the specific like nuancy things that are a little bit different, then I can supplement with other more Catholic resources. And like the co-op that we go to is a Catholic co-op, so all of the moms go to a Catholic church. But I've been really impressed over the last 2 years using the Horizons books and stuff. Like I've really enjoyed them. So anyway, Genesis 1:9-13. So I'm going to read this to Riley. And God said, let the water under the sky be gathered to one place, and let the dry ground appear, and it was so. God called the dry ground
Earth.
Land, and the gathered waters he called the seas. And God said that it was
good.
So I kind of let her fill in the blanks. Like as we go repeating these more and more, she starts picking up on some of the verses, which is great. So the concept that is presented today, it says God has blessed us with a beautiful country. Do you know that? Do you know what country we live in? You always forget about it. The country that we live in is America.
The state that we live in is Virginia.
That's right.
So God made every single bug, every single leaf that falls off the tree.
Who made it?
Jesus.
God made the bugs?
And also the trees.
And are you happy with his creation?
Yep, I'm so happy.
Then I've got a song here that I can sing, America the Beautiful. I myself can sing it, or I can look up like a YouTube video with someone singing it, but that's like a nice song that we can learn together. Do you like that song? So I like to incorporate my phone, like a tablet, whenever there's something that I can like look up for them or show them a visual, you know, pull out your laptop, your computer. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, and it gives them another way to, you know, learn and see about what it is that we're studying. So that was today's song. And then here there's like a little experiment that we could do about like seed sprouting. We're not gonna do that today. So sometimes like I'll see stuff in here that I want to do right away. Sometimes I just mark the page because I can go back to like that experiment or whatever it is that I don't want to do that day. So we're going to skip through that because this is about seed sprouting, and I have something else that we can use for that. And this is a little bit more like involved. So we're going to just skip through that. So we're going to move on to her workbook. So the workbook accompanies the lesson, obviously. Riley, your gummies are going to fall off the table, okay? This is her little name tag too that I made for her. I made one for her and one for Jackson, but he is kind of watching TV over there, so he doesn't need his today. So for today, the letter that we're working on is L. So what sound does L make?
La.
I'm working with her on sounds, even though that's not part of the curriculum right now. Like I kind of use this as a foundation and then like build upon it, like when I know that she's already like mastered a skill. So she already knows like her sounds. We're working on sight words too that I'll show you guys in a little bit, but I still make her do these worksheets because it's good practice. Okay, so L, can you trace L for me? Jackson, you playing with your car there? Do you want your name tag? Here, what does this name tag say? Do you know which one says Jackson? What letter does your name start with? Your name starts with a J.
Hi.
J, do you see where J is? Look, this letter here, that's J. J is for Jackson. And what are you eating? Are you eating gummies? I mean, are you eating, what are these? These are giggles?
Yeah.
Can you count them for me? Okay, count them and put them back in the bowl. Can you count them? Go, show me how you count them.
1, 2, 3, 5,
4,
6,
5,
7,
6,
and 7.
and 7. Okay, let's do that again because I think he got confused. So that was a very bad example. He's been able to count to 10. So what I try to do is like anytime that he's eating little things like this, or I look for just opportunities to work on skills like that with him, but very like low pressure and not forcing him to do worksheets yet because I get questions about that all the time, like what I do for Jackson. We do a lot of just like play-based learning with him especially, and even with Riley still. So he's just kind of here and there when he wants to be. All right, so you trace the letter L, very good. So we're gonna write your name. What I like about these workbooks is like on almost every page, she gets like a little section to practice her name. So at this point, she's really improved on writing her name. And it's something that we keep working on, like her printing and her ability to write all the letters and the numbers. So I'm glad that we get a lot of practice with that.
That's Riley.
Good job, Mama. So does that say?
Riley.
Do you want to practice writing your last name?
B.
B.
G. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15,
L.
17.
Jackson, can you stop distracting Riley, please? This is also what I have to deal with.
15.
All right, so we just started practicing her last name. So that says Riley Buell, right?
Yeah.
But this should have been a little lowercase e and lowercase l's. But it's okay, we'll practice. So yeah, what I do is just keep going through every section. Like there's a science section here, there's a phonics section, which we did that page about the letter L. But there are a lot of like really good ideas in here if your student hasn't like mastered the letters. It's just like Riley, I skipped through a lot of this because Riley already knows her letters, she knows the sound. So I use this to kind of like check for myself, like does she know this already? Okay, yes, if she does, then we can move on. Or sometimes I choose to like give her more practice, but it's kind of up to my discretion as far as like what I want to work on. Like for reading here, it says dictate a simple letter, invitation, or thank you note. So I could have her write something, but I don't always do that. And like for writing, it says for these 2 weeks, focus on having the students trace the first 3 letters of their first name because we're trying to get students to learn how to write their name, but Riley already can write her name. So we just kind of move on. So we're going to move on to the math page, which Riley looks like she has already decided to start doing. So she's just drawing a line from the numbers to the group of animals. And then sometimes she'll just do it really fast and then I just check her work. All right, we've got one more you're missing. You've got the number 8. And let's check. We got 4, 6, 7, and 8. Good job. So we've got another song. We've got This Old Man, He Played One, which Riley likes to sing. So we'll sing that. And then...
This old man, he played one. He played knick-knack on my phone with knick-knack. I like a dog one. This old man came really home.
But then for color, it's got teach the color orange, which Riley already knows her colors. Jackson already knows his colors too, but I will always take any opportunity to help him, you know, practice his colors. Jackson, can you find me a purple crayon? You find me a purple one?
Yeah.
Go, pick a purple one, please. Go, show me purple. What does it matter? Just give me a purple one, any purple one. Good job, thank you. How about a blue one? Will you give me a blue one? Thank you, and now I need an orange one. Can you give me an orange one? Thank you, and green. Awesome. Now can we count them?
Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
That's okay.
1,
4,
4, 5, 6, 7.
Okay, so we're moving on to arts and crafts. It says do the arts and crafts worksheet. So this is the arts and crafts worksheet for the day. She's gonna rip this out and then she's gotta work on cutting it and making like a little puzzle with it. So let me go get a piece of construction paper. So all of my papers and stuff need to be better organized, but I'm gonna grab a couple pieces of construction paper. This is just something that I always like to keep on hand for like arts and crafts and stuff. I'm gonna see if Jackson wants to color in the meantime, but Riley can pick one of these for her drawing. So on what color are you gonna do the animal?
I always choose blue.
You always choose blue? Okay, Jackson, you wanna color? You want to draw some circles?
No.
Which color paper do you want?
Water.
All of them?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, great.
No, red.
So whenever Riley has to do arts and crafts, sometimes I'll just bring out an extra paper for Jackson because he really likes to like draw and stuff. Jackson, you're gonna fall off the chair. So we hold the scissors with our thumb in the little circle. So our thumb goes in the little circle and then the rest of our hands there. Okay?
I made a big chart.
What did you make?
Another chart.
A car? How about you make a road for your car? You want to make a road? Yeah. Make a road for your car. And then he can go down the road like this. Would that be cool?
Her.
Oh, her, because it's Everest. Sorry. But Jackson has gotten into coloring and drawing. I've shown you guys this already if you guys are regular followers of the channel. This is our little gallery wall where we display some of their artwork. And Jackson drew all of these circle people, which just crack me up. I love them. And then Riley did like watercoloring the other day. This was Joe. This was not either of my kids. Riley did decide to randomly put a paper towel roll with stickers on the gallery wall. But we like to keep some of their arts and crafts that they do throughout the week. Like earlier this week, we were learning about the grass and how God made the grass and all of that. So like Riley did this little painting, drew a rainbow. So she had to draw the grass, then we put stickers on it of like farm animals. And this is like another thing similar to what she's doing now that she worked on this week. This was like a barn. So all of these will get added to the gallery wall and then we'll display them for a couple days. What's the matter? Why are you upset? Then I have to deal with him being cranky while I'm trying to do anything. Do you want to draw a road? No. How about we make some parking spots for your cars? You want to do that?
No.
Look, let me show you. Look, Jackson, I have some tape. We're going to make some parking spots for your cars, okay? And you can go get your cars. We're just going to put this on the floor. Look, that's a little parking spot. And then you get your cars and you put them in the parking spot. So, like this. Everest can park in here. She can go boop, boop, boop.
No.
She can park there. Yeah. Okay, go get some more cars of yours so you can put them in the parking spots, okay?
Okay.
Go find some more. Let's see, do they fit in those parking spots? Those are kind of big trucks. Parking spots here are not very big. Let's see. Do they fit? All right, Jackson, did they fit?
No.
In the parking spots? Oh,
cars.
go get some more cars. So yeah, this is what I spent a lot of my time doing, just like trying to find very basic, easy, creative ways to keep Jackson entertained while Riley does some of the schoolwork. So like this is literally just washi tape that I have that I think I bought on Amazon, but any tape will do. And I'm just gonna make some little parking spots here. Nothing fancy about this at all. And then he can work on counting also. I can work with him on like sorting the cars like biggest to smallest. So that's something we can do. I just try to get creative in a very easy way with him. And that way it keeps him entertained for a little while so I can work on different concepts with Riley because sometimes he's just in a mood and wants nothing to do with anything I'm telling him. All right, let's see. Where are they gonna park? Oh, those are monster trucks. Those need like double parking spots. Are those big? All right. Do they fit? Oh, back in parking. Excellent. How's it going over here, little miss?
I'm gonna have one more.
Okay, good. So she's cutting out her little pieces, and then she's gonna work on sticking it onto the paper. So for me, that's pretty much all I need my teacher's workput today because I looked through everything else, and I'm not going to be using any of it. Okay, go get. You want more parking spots? Okay, here. Put this over here on the table.
Watch out for my gummies.
Okay. So whenever the kids are doing some kind of craft, like when we get to the point in the lesson where we're doing a craft, where they have to color or draw or something like that, that's usually when I'll like clean up, tidy. Like luckily this table right here is like right by the kitchen. So if I need to be washing dishes, like I can take care of some things around the house while she's doing it because she doesn't need like that, you know, instruction. Like she doesn't need me hovering over her at this point to tell her how to glue these pieces together because she can figure that out on herself. So it's not like all this time I'm literally sitting right next to her. For some things, yes, I have to like absolutely sit one-on-one with her to go over things like when we do sight words. But for some of this arts and crafts, easy stuff, she can do it on her own. A lot of math she can even do on her own, and then I can go back and like check her work. So I don't want you to think like, oh, it's, you know, a straight up hour where you have to, you know, sit with your kid. Maybe you do, depending on like what level they're at. But at least for me, in this stage right now, it's very laid back, which is what I like because that's my style. In terms of homeschooling, I want for her to learn a lot through play. I want it to be like not very stressful. I want to encourage her to enjoy learning, and she's a very like arts and crafts kind of person, so I try to incorporate a lot of what I'm trying to teach her through that. We go outside a lot. We have our garden if you're new here, so we've learned so much. Like I've learned so much through my garden, but I've been able to teach both of the kids about watering plants and about seeds and the roots, all of those things through things that like we're just doing on a regular basis. So I highly recommend looking into just having even like a few plants outside and learning how to grow some things. It's been really fun and like a huge blessing in our life, and then definitely with like their schooling. All right, let me see. It looks beautiful. So we're gonna let that dry, okay? We're gonna put it up on the counter, let it dry. Jackson has moved on to something else, just throwing his cars around. So today is one of those days that it's like hard to really like get him to be entertained. Jackson, you wanna go camping? You can go in your camping tent. You can pretend. You want me to turn off the lights so that it's dark so you can pretend you're outside? No? Okay. Do you want to play with the money over here? You want to pretend that you work at the store? You want to pretend that you work at the store?
Money time.
Here. Here, you can play with the money and count the money. Okay? Or do that, yeah. All right, so I asked Jackson if he wanted to work with Play-Doh, and that got his attention. So yesterday, we made some of our homemade Play-Doh. I have a whole video on how to make homemade Play-Doh. It is so easy. So that was like a project in and of itself yesterday for our homeschool together. Like we made it like myself with the kids. We used food dye to color it. So this is pretty fresh Play-Doh now. And then this is just like a bunch of like old Play-Doh sets and like the molds and stuff from the toy sets that they can play with, and he really likes it, and it works like his fine motor skills. So he can do that on the table. Here, you want the green one?
I want it back.
And then I can work on sight words with Riley, and then she can keep playing with this once she's done. So again, Riley's not in kinder yet, but she has been able to master some sight words. So right now, for sight words, I'm literally using a probably like $3, yeah, $2.99 workbook that I got on Amazon for like sight words. And we've just been going through this workbook, and we've been working on some of the very basic sight words. So at this point, there's like a whole handful, probably more than a handful, maybe like 20 words. I'd have to count them, maybe a little less than that, but somewhere around that range of sight words that she knows. So at least like every other day, we try to go through them and work on them. And then once I feel like she's mastered them, I add on a couple extra words. So I'll use that workbook. I also have like the flashcards, which I hang up on the fridge. I kind of incorporate them into just anywhere where we can review them, especially when we first started with them. We try to review them a couple times a day. So we're just gonna review them and see how she's doing with these and kind of see which ones we need to work on. So let's take a look. Let's pay attention. What about this one?
On. Oh, I don't know this one.
This one is harder? Okay, how about this one?
Bye. Is it?
Yep. How about these? Point at them and tell me what they are.
B. A. Mama. And what is this one? I forgot about that one.
Do you remember what we do when we don't know it?
You sound it out.
Okay.
So H and E. Ha ha. E.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so these you know. That's good. How about these? Point at them and tell me what they are.
So this one is in. This one is to, or like at. And they always sound this A and an E. N. And And.
Good job.
This one's a little harder.
Yeah, that one's a little harder. Okay, we'll review that one.
All.
Good job. We'll still review that one because that one is new. So these are like, yeah. So these are like the newest ones. So I'm gonna put the ones that we're gonna review over here, and then these are the ones that I'm pretty sure she's mastered at this point. So we're not gonna review these. But sometimes, like I said, I'll just go through the workbook, and it's been helpful to go through that. So like I'm waiting for her to master these new ones. Like these are the new ones, all, and, the, and are. So once she masters them, then we'll add these next 4. So we can put this workbook away. So what I was having Riley do with these yesterday, and that I think she likes, is a couple things. So I have this box of letters, and it comes with like a little dry erase board. So I'm gonna have her spell out these sight words and just kind of review them, and it's kind of like a hands-on way for her to do it. So we're gonna, where do you want me to put these? Do you want me to put these here? Here. So let's try to spell all of these.
Only those.
We're gonna do 6 total words. So we're gonna do those 3, and then these 3, and then we'll be done with writing them, okay? So let's find them. So the first one, do you know what that one is? Let's sound it out.
C.
Let's sound it out.
Or.
Of.
So let's see. O.
So find an O and find an F.
So it's F. Here's F.
Very good.
It's not that little.
Perfect. So what does that one say? O and F is of. Of. Now this one says the.
So we're gonna see a T, a H, and an E.
Okay, so by the way, I should have explained at the beginning of this video that I am in no way, I am not a teacher. I did not study early education. So if you see stuff in this video and you're like, oh, that's not how you should teach sight words or whatever, I'm doing the best that I can and doing what I think works for my child. There are some people I know that are against like having kids sound out words. There's other people that say sounding out words is actually good. So like, I know that there's different thought processes behind different things, and I know that with reading and all of that, there's specific books that you can buy, and there's specific, you know, videos that you can go watch. So I highly encourage you to do your own research on how you want to teach certain concepts. I'm just showing you what my day looks like right now in terms of what's working for us, what I feel like Riley is responding well to. And that's one of the things that I love about homeschool, is that I get to look at my child, and with all of the things that are unique to her, like her attention span and her interests and her strengths and her weaknesses, I get to see what's gonna work for her and then kind of teach her the things in that way. For example, she just decided that she wanted to put the letters inside of the Play-Doh. So you know what? If she's gonna do it that way, then that is fine. So what is this word over here? T-H-E. The. Very good. So now we're gonna take these off, and look, it's spelled the inside of the Play-Doh.
I told you that would work.
Was that cool? Jackson, what'd you make over there? Are you slicing?
Yeah.
What are you making though?
This, a doctor pieces.
A cutter?
Yeah, the doctor pieces.
Okay.
Now I'm flattening it out again. The back. Oh, the round.
You're making it round?
Yeah.
Cool. And what are you trying to make? Are you trying to make ice cream over there? In that cup? Is that ice cream?
Yeah.
Oh, very nice.
The basic ice cream.
Is ice cream cold or hot?
No.
It's cold. And is it tasty?
This bit. Yeah.
What about, is ice cream healthy?
Yeah.
Yeah? So you made your lunch?
Yeah.
You have a piece of bread and ice cream. That's about all that you eat these days, so that's pretty accurate. Ooh. It's good?
No, it's apple juice.
Oh, now it's apple juice? How about your bread? Is your bread hot or cold?
Hot.
It's hot because you put it in the toaster?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hot it.
You're gonna hold it, but you gotta be careful, okay? So yes, Riley and I are gonna continue to work on these sight words. We're just gonna review those 6 that she's kind of like struggling with. And then the other thing we did with them yesterday is I had her like write them on the whiteboard, because Riley really likes working with dry erase boards and markers. So to have her working on her writing skills and to also work on the sight words, we had her write them here. I won't do that today since she's like busy with the Play-Doh and the writing, and that's fine. She's had enough for today. That said, today is like a day where I can spend more time with Riley. I don't have that much to do on my to-do list today. So this is actually a long day of school at this point. Like it's 12:26. So we've been at this for almost, what? You want white? Okay, we've been at this for not even an hour yet, and I would say that this is like a lot of schoolwork for one day, but if there's a day that she's like really into it and her attention span is good and she's not, you know, fighting me, then we go longer. And if there's a day where either I have a bunch to do or Jackson's not letting me do anything, then we kind of, you know, cut it short. So there's no one perfect method. I just try to make sure that she's on track, that she's learning things, and like Jackson here too, this little pipsqueak. We're just trying to work on his fine motor skills, working on his numbers, his shapes, his colors, basic things that he'd be learning at a pre-K. And he's not even gonna technically do even pre-K 3 until next year. So he still has time. Okay, so I have to teach him like anger management or I don't know. Looks like his fine motor skills are pretty good. But we've also, did you put a bracelet in there? No. Did Riley put a bracelet in here? What is this? Why is there a bracelet in the Play-Doh?
It was a surprise.
It was a surprise, yeah, it sure was a surprise. But with Jackson, I've been really trying to work on the alphabet with him. So he's starting to get it. If you saw one of the more recent vlogs I posted, he started singing the ABCs, and he's kind of getting there, but he still doesn't know all his letters. So whenever I have an opportunity, I just bought him a new ABC puzzle, so we can work on that. Then I've had these up here so that he can constantly be reminded of these letters. So we're trying to work on a few letters at a time. What did you do? So what does that say? Of.
I don't know this one.
Are.
Or are.
Like, are you going to the Papa store?
Yeah, and this is yeah.
And then what is this word down here? THE. No. So and then what word is here?
I don't
know. The. All right. So because we still have some time to kill before we go and do quiet time with the kids, we went on a little nature walk yesterday around the block, around the neighborhood, and we collected a bunch of leaves. So we're gonna do some leaf rubbing today, and I think that's just like an easy craft that they can work on. Jackson is still busy. You want to draw a tree after? And then stick the leaves on?
Yeah.
We can do that too. You see, like sometimes she just wants to do like arts and crafts, but this is like an easy one that you can do if you find leaves. So all you do is, I'm sure you guys have seen this a million times, just put the leaves underneath the paper, and then with a crayon, just hold on to the leaf and rub it. Have them rub it in there.
Oh, but I was gonna do...
You're gonna do the next one, and then the leaf shows up. So I'm gonna give you your own paper.
Okay.
But isn't that a cool leaf?
Yeah, it's cool.
Didn't we find this yesterday when we were with Dada?
Yeah.
What kind of tree do you think that belongs to?
I don't know.
Do you think like what kind of tree has like all the leaves that fall off?
Deciduous tree?
A deciduous tree, you're right. So we were learning about that in science, which is pretty cool. So here you go, I'm gonna give you a paper. So here, you can use these papers and you can find whichever one of these leaves you want. Jackson, can you not cut your face, please? Don't do that on your face, okay? Yeah, thanks. He's been here cutting up the Play-Doh, having the time of his life. I have to keep an eye on him, otherwise he will cut his face. A cantaloupe?
Yeah.
You made a cantaloupe? Cool. All right, Riley, here you go. You can pick your crayons and then pick whichever one of those leaves you want. Okay, here's what you need to do. I need you to arrange these leaves from biggest to smallest on the table. Okay? And now while I make you your snack. Okay? Okay. Alright, from biggest to smallest. Yeah. Okay, if you want to do it on the floor, you can do it on the floor.
How about you? Down here. How about you?
What'd you do? What did you do here? By what? By biggest to smallest? That looks really pretty. Yes, now we're gonna have a snack. So,
Because I'm hungry.
you're hungry? Is there ever a time when you're not asking for snacks?
I don't think so.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so it is lunchtime now. The kids are gonna have lunch outside because it's a beautiful day. Of course, there's someone like pressure washing their deck, so it's super loud out here. But over here, we've got the lettuce that we're keeping an eye on. We planted this a couple weeks ago, or maybe like a week and a half ago. So this is like another part of our homeschool at this point. Like once a day, we come out to check on the plants, and we've got lettuce growing in here. Also some lettuce that's sprouting here, and I think in this one too. We've got different kinds of lettuce. So we've been teaching Riley like about soil and all of that. We did a lot of that with our garden. So if you've never seen my garden before, I've got tomatoes that are growing up the deck, and then this is my garden, which doesn't look the best at this point because it's like a fall garden. So we're doing our best to kind of maintain it. So that's something that the kids really help me out with, and they enjoy it. Like when the weather's nice, being out there, they help me pick weeds. So that can also be considered part of their homeschooling. Like it sounds dumb. It sounds like, well, they're not sitting at a desk and learning how to write or whatever. But I feel like that's good for them. And they learn so many like real practical skills in that. So we take a very hands-on approach, and I feel very blessed to be able to do that. So since they're having lunch right now and they're content, I'm gonna go actually to the garden and water my plants because it's been a couple days since I go in there and water. So let's do that. And then if there's anything else that we do today, I'll pick up the camera and show you. It's not nighttime, it's daytime. Out there in the garden, checking out the garden, fertilizing, all of that, and I saw that perhaps this was ready to be pulled. Check it out. I pulled out a carrot. So that was very satisfying. So now we have this that we can talk about. What is this, Jackson?
It's me.
Yeah, that's you, but what is this?
This carrot.
A carrot. So we can talk about how, you know, it grows underneath the ground and how we pull it. I can show them like the little roots. We can wash it. We can chop it up and eat it. So this is a good example of something that I wasn't planning on doing today, but that I can use it to be a learning experience. But this is the biggest carrot that I've grown, and it's very satisfying. So now this is up there with like my favorites of things to grow with potatoes. Like potatoes is one of my favorite things because then at the end of the season when you have to dig up everything from the ground, it is so fun. So yeah, I'm proud of my big carrot here. So the kids are still eating. They'll probably be eating for the next 32 hours because that's usually how long it takes them to eat their lunch. And then they're gonna do quiet time. I get my break. And if anything else eventful comes up, I'll let you know. All right, so really quick, while the kids are doing quiet time, I wanted to tell you a little bit more about some of the things that I've been supplementing with Riley. So we've got the Main Horizons curriculum that I already showed you. I had shown you guys this curriculum also. Like I did a review of the Good and the Beautiful curriculum and the Horizons one. So I'll link those like full dedicated curriculum reviews in the description box if you want to know more. But this is what we're using for like our science curriculum. So even though the Horizons stuff has like science sections and has like those experiments and has like where they're learning about soil and rocks and all those things, I found that this is like a nice little companion curriculum to use. So from the Good and the Beautiful, it's called Fields and Flowers, which I think is made for like kindergarten, and it's like made for younger kids. So we've been using this once a week. Sometimes like if we're feeling up to it, maybe twice a week, but there's only, how many lessons are there? There's only 30 lessons. So if we do one a week, we'll be done in 30 weeks. So if we double up, we could be done in 15 weeks. So it's just about like how often you want to do it. You could do it in order, you could skip around, but there's like all different kinds of things. Like there's a lesson on honeybees, on butterflies, there's a lesson on worms, on plants, on seeds, on tree bark. So we were learning about tree bark this past week, and we were learning also about tree sap and syrup, which was about like how maple syrup is made. And so the way that they learn is one of two ways. So like there's like a quick little opening introduction, and you like read a quick little thing to them, but it's either a story from this book. In this book, it's like a storybook, and there's like a bunch of different stories on the different topics. So you either read one of the stories here. Some of the lessons are like, okay, go read the story from this book. Or some of the lessons that don't have a story, it tells you to go online to like their curriculum website, and you watch a quick little video where an instructor is talking about the topic. So like the one we just did the other day on maple syrup, you go onto the website, it gives you like the little password to access, and then the teacher is speaking and showing like little clips about them drilling into the tree and getting the syrup, and it's super quick. So it's like that video wasn't even 10 minutes long. Like if it's even 5 minutes long, I'd be surprised. So it's not something that they need like a lot of attention span for, but then it's cool because we just incorporate it into our week. And then I try to find a way to, you know, if we go on a nature walk this past week, like we had done that lesson, and then we went on a walk around the neighborhood with Joe. That's when we collected the leaves. And then I made sure to stop, and like at one of the trees, even though it wasn't a maple tree, I went to show her like the tree trunk, and we touched the tree. So looking for ways like that to incorporate the things that we're learning in homeschool and whatever you want to call it, and then into like real life. So that's what we've been using for our science curriculum. And then other than sight words, which is again not something that you would traditionally do in a preschool, homeschool world, whatever. It's just that Riley's kind of in that, you know, a little bit like kind of done with pre-K, but still not quite at kindergarten, or she's, you know, kind of at kindergarten level, but I'm not trying to rush her. So it's been like a hard balance. I've shared that when I've done my other homeschool videos. Like I'm not trying to rush her and like get her to a second grade level. Like she's not even 5 yet. So I'm not in a hurry, but I want to keep her excited and engaged, and I want to keep challenging her, because if all we did now is go over the ABCs, like she's known the ABCs like since before she was 2. So it's kind of like, you know, I want her to stay engaged and excited about learning. But other than the sight words, the other thing that I've been using to kind of just make sure that she's on the right track is I had shown you guys this curriculum from The Good and the Beautiful, and it's their preschool curriculum. So again, if you want to see the full review on that, you can go ahead and watch the video that I made on it. So what I've been doing with this is not at all like having her write in here. Like this is a little workbook. I don't have her write in here. But after like the week goes by, so like after we've done a full week of homeschool, I'll go through this workbook and just make sure that she's mastered like the stuff that they're covering here too. So it's kind of, for me, since I already had this, it's kind of like a cross check to make sure that we're covering the topics that like The Good and the Beautiful also is covering. For example, this preschool curriculum, I do like it, by the way. Like I've liked them both. I don't have bad things to say about either of them, except that I feel like Horizons is more Christ-centered and more focused on the gospel, the Bibles, and Bible verses, all of that. I feel like you get more of Jesus in the Horizons curriculum as opposed to The Good and the Beautiful, just from my experience of going through like both of these in a way. But just to give you like an idea of where we're at in terms of The Good and the Beautiful preschool curriculum, there are 90 lessons in The Good and the Beautiful's preschool. And I've already checked Riley through like most of these lessons, and we're already at lesson 44 out of 90. So, and it's been like a month of homeschool, and that's that I haven't even like continued to like, you know, quiz her through these. I'm sure that most of what is in here she already knows, and we've already kind of gone through. So we'd get through this curriculum very quickly had it been the only thing that we decided to use. So that's why I'm really happy with like our decision to go with Horizons as like our base. And then like every once in a while, I'll find something in here that I'm like, oh, this is a good way for Riley to practice. And so I'll have her like, you know, do some of these things, even if it's not with a pencil, because I kind of want to save this honestly for like when Jackson is at the age where he can use this. But I'll have her like point to letters. Like if there's an activity where it says, you know, have the child, you know, draw a line from this to this, instead of like, you know, using a pencil, I'll have her like point to it and like use her finger and show me what, you know, sounds the different letters make and all of that. And then if there's something unique that I see that I haven't done with her on the other curriculum, then we'll stop and we'll do that. Like this curriculum, actually, one of the things that I really like about it is that it has like a little packet of games, not like board games, but like these little activity games, and I'll most likely incorporate some of those into her learning as the school year goes on. Like there's a couple concepts that I can see already that Riley's like still not like fully mastered, like the lowercase b and the lowercase d. Like sometimes she gets them confused. So now that I know that that's one of the places that she struggled, I think this curriculum, if I'm not mistaken, has like a little game activity that helps to work on those. But I do think that my initial like assessment of this curriculum was correct, in that the preschool is very much like stuff that Riley has mastered. So I do think that Horizon's preschool curriculum is a little bit more challenging, is a little bit more in depth, and there's a lot more that they cover. So I'm glad that I have it, just to make sure from another point of view, like, you know, that we're covering different topics, but that's kind of my feedback so far on the curriculum. So yeah, I'm gonna wait till the kids wake up. When they wake up, we're gonna do a little craft activity. And then tomorrow we have a field trip. Tomorrow we have, with the moms club that I'm a part of, we have like a play date, if you wanna call it. And so we're gonna go to a farm, and that's exciting because it gets us out of the house. It's a way for them to play. It's a way for them to learn something. A couple weeks ago, you guys, we coordinated for a tour of the firehouse. So that was also really great, and the kids got to go and meet the firemen and see the whole firehouse and the fire trucks, and it was a great experience because like that's literally the kind of field trip that you would have almost in school, but outside of school. Like these are a bunch of like preschoolers, some kids that are not even, you know, school age, and a bunch of homeschoolers that were able to go and have a tour of the firehouse. So like I always tell you guys, if you feel like you need some connection, some community, look up moms clubs, look up MOPS, try to do some research and find one of these mom groups, maybe organize one yourselves. Like I've been very fortunate to find at least a couple groups in our area where it's like moms that get together and coordinate play dates, and the homeschool co-op that we do, and it's been a lot. Like I'm very busy these days, but it's been great for the kids and for me, honestly. So I think between all the stuff that we're doing, the kids are really getting a good like school education, just in a little bit less of a traditional way. So right now I'm really happy about it, and I'm glad that I can kind of like, you know, share anything that I learned with you guys. All right, so it is a little later. The kids are up from quiet time, nap time, and we're gonna do a little pumpkin painting. So we had picked up these pumpkins at one of the local nurseries, and like the little ones were cheap. The little ones were like $1.25. And so I've got some of our favorite washable paints that we always keep. I always keep them. Yeah, I know. I need to get you guys some more because they use them all the time. So that's like one of the things I always have on hand, these little Crayola washable paints. And they are going to paint pumpkins. Jackson right now is just filling up his palette because that's what he wants to do right now. You getting all the colors?
Huh?
What? What color is that?
Huh?
Did you get any? I see it. And Riley's going to paint a masterpiece. What are you going to paint?
Use the grass and I will paint the sky.
Oh, getting super creative.
Huh?
What, you can't get it out? It's stuck?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's big.
There you go. Now you have green, okay?
Okay. Yeah.
Any other colors?
Ooh, yellow.
Yellow? Here, there's yellow here that we already opened. You use this one. And this stuff, you guys, it comes off of pretty much everything. It comes off of surfaces, comes off of their clothes. Like, believe me, they've gotten all sorts of things full of this paint. And it always comes off. And then I've got paint palettes that I'm pretty sure I got this at the Dollar Tree. So like Dollar Tree has a lot of like the like paintbrushes and the palettes. I just wouldn't trust their paints. There's no more yellow? Let me see. I like to stick to the Crayola washable paint that I have definitely tested myself and used plenty of times. Okay, there might not be any yellow. So you want me to open up a different yellow? And I think the pack at Target is usually where I get it from. And it's usually like $6, I want to say. Don't quote me, but it's not super expensive. And then it lasts for quite some time. And we use it on all kinds of activities. Are you going to paint a lovely pumpkin?
Yeah.
And what color is that one?
Yellow.
Yellow?
My pitch yellow.
It's beautiful. Oh, and you're painting the sky?
Yep. There's so much blue.
I love it. All right, so it looks like that is the end of the pumpkin painting. But Joe got home, and so the kids are doing some PE, it looks like. All right. Now they're gonna start fighting over the ball.
Jackson. No, we share. We're good.
Are they sharing?
Come on, Jackson, throw it. Good job. Ready?
So we try to like right before dinner when like the sun starts to go down. It's like a nice time to be outside usually. So they'll come out and run around. They were playing on their bikes for a little while. And now Joe's playing something with them there. And Jackson's gonna get smacked in the head. This is also usually like a good time to like refill the bird feeder if we haven't, and if I haven't gotten around to watering my plants, this is when I do it. So we do like to spend a little bit of time outside. Here were the pumpkins. So Riley did like grass in the sky, and then we've got some black pumpkins, and Jackson even attempted to pumpkin paint a little bit. So the good thing about this is that they can dry and then we can just scrub them down. So tomorrow, like an activity that Riley will do during homeschool will be to wash off the pumpkins, and then I'll have her like scrubbing the paint off and it'll come off, and then they can repaint it if they want to. So they'll get some use out of that. But that, my friends, is really it for today's video, and that's what a typical homeschool day looks like. Now I've got to like tidy up all the things. I'm cooking dinner. So I look at my house, that's usually a wreck by this point. I mean, it's usually a wreck even way before this point. But at the very least, the kids were entertained most of the day and they got their school in. I feel like they learned something. And actually the only other thing that we usually see in terms of like school or, you know, homeschool, or whatever you want to actually call it, is that at night, Joe will, usually every night, Joe will read Riley like some kind of story right before bed. So sometimes like they'll literally pick up like the National Geographic for Kids books that we have, and like Riley loves all her shark books, and that's what he'll read to her right before bed. Sometimes it's picture books, like Riley's really into Sophie Mouse right now, like some of the chapter books. So Joe will like read them aloud to her, and like that's like their wind down nighttime routine. So it's really nice because we go through reading a lot of books, and I guess I didn't even really share too much of that today in today's video, but we're gonna do more of these videos so you guys will see. But we're very active like library participants. So we go to the library once a week, if not like once every other week, and we pick up like a whole bunch of new books to read and rotate through those. Sometimes they correspond to like what we're like specifically learning about in school. Sometimes it's just random picture books or books about the season, or, you know, if we have a trip to the farm coming up, we go and we grab some farm books. So that's kind of how we do things. Literally have dinner cooking over here. These beans are gonna overflow. So yes, I'm gonna end the video here so I can get to dinner. But I hope you guys enjoyed seeing this video. If you have any questions at all, let me know. Let me know what you guys want to see in terms of homeschool content. I do plan on doing more. So if you like this kind of stuff, if you want to see more like toddler, preschooler activities, how to keep them entertained, like the best tools and resources and craft supplies, all of those things, definitely stick around, subscribe. I would love to share so much of that with you guys, because my main point is just to show you that it doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be super strict if you don't like it that way. Point is that you're teaching your kids, they're learning, they're developing, and you know, I think they're gonna be fine. So I love your faces. Thank you for being here. Make sure to give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you guys are new, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.